over the weekend, psychologist and government advisor Dr. Linda Papadopoulos said magazine spreads featuring airbrushed actresses and models should come with warning symbols. She claims false images of perfection are making young girls insecure about their looks and says, whereas I can pick up a magazine and say clearly this is lighting and makeup, I'm pretty sure that a 13-year-old can't. I'm not saying people should stop airbrushing, but they need to be honest about it. So, do we agree? Is there anything wrong with airbrushing?
Well, I don't think there is really. I think it's all an extension, in a way, of the same thing. And I think she's patronising 13-year-olds in a way and underestimating them. I mean, my daughter's 15, and I mean, and she's sort of 5'1" and, you know, an average size. And when she looks at magazines, she knows she can't look like that, you know, in a million years. But it inspires her to try and to experiment and to, you know, to just do maybe a little of what's on display there. And I think also, if you're going to ban airbrushing, you might as well, or warn about airbrushing, you might as well warn about makeup and warn about lighting and warn about hair, because it's all part of the same thing. It's all part of the making of the image.
No, Lesley,
the creating of the image.
Makeup is a real. Airbrushing isn't real. When you see somebody on front of a magazine and they've airbrushed every wrinkle and everything out of their face, and you see that person and you see them in real life and they're not like that person at all.
That's an image.
That's telling a lie to people who buy magazines. All right, not a warning, but just say, you know, makeup by da-da-da-da-da and airbrushing by that, so they know. I mean, you know, for young girls to see people on the front of magazines, I don't know, say somebody like Jordan, who is airbrushed, and they think they can
real
look
before
like
they start with the airbrushing.
Well, that's true.
Well, my daughter doesn't like that. She'll say, oh, it's horrible. She doesn't like that.
But then you get the ordinary magazines when somebody's walking down a street or coming out of their house, and that's airbrushed. And so, you know, people look 12 years old and they're 45.
So, Sherrie, would you, if you did a photo shoot, would you ask not to be airbrushed?
Oh, no, I have to be airbrushed. But that's a different thing. But I will tell people I've been airbrushed.
Oh, they'd know, love.
I mean, I'd like to be airbrushed in real life and walk around with an airbrush, but unfortunately, I've got the age I have and I can't be airbrushed. But what I'm saying is, if I'm in a magazine, I'll always say, oh, look at me, you know, I'm airbrushed. Yeah. But I just think people should know the truth. I don't think people should be lied to.
I think maybe a sort of a happy medium might be that the teen magazines actually say, look, this is airbrushed, these are, you know, these are kids with perfect skin, and or actually don't airbrush them, show that, you know, the odd spot, because teenagers have that. But I think there are certain publications where you want perfection, like, you know, Vogue or Harper's and Queen or something like that, which are aspirational pictures, and in some cases they're like art. Yes. And you don't want to see a size 16, you don't want to see flaws on faces, you want to see perfection, but you know that it's not real, you know it's been doctored. But I do think some children are affected by seeing perfection in the magazines, and, you know, if you are a teenager with low self-esteem and you're constantly, you know, faced with these perfect images, it would have an effect on you, I would
looking
imagine.
back to our day and age, as it were, and I don't think airbrushing was maybe around so much then. When we were reading, I don't know, Jackie or Bunty or whatever, the sort of magazines, you still wanted to look like a lot of the girls that you saw then. You didn't know whether they were airbrushed or not. You just knew that they were pretty. So is that then saying, don't have any pretty people in magazines because that upsets people?
But you know that they're models. You know that they're not real people as well.
As long as they're inspiring, as long as they're saying to kids, you know, don't try and look like me, but try and look a bit better.
But let's tell them the truth, that that's not exactly what they look like.
Yeah, because you've got to walk in the room at the end of the day. They're going to see
exactly.
you.
OK, speaking of...